effects from anybody because of this.
An explosion was heard and smoke seen at the power plant this morning, and here it is.
Wow.
And as we watch that, Malcolm Grimston, what are your thoughts?
That's, I mean, still speculating. One possibility of that is a hydrogen-oxygen explosion. That's quite an energetic one, or some sort of chemical explosion from the. You know, they do use oil and other things within the plant, but that's a big explosion. I very strongly suspect that's not an actual nuclear explosion in the sense that the nuclear materials were involved in that. The issue is that if that's damaged the containment, the nuclear materials may be able to escape from that. Because this far into the accident, it's very difficult to imagine that the nuclear process could restart, although that is certainly something which will be investigated.
What strikes people, I'm sure, about watching a couple of things, as you say, whether that has caused damage in itself. I mean, presumably, at a plant like that, an explosion is something you want to avoid.
No, an explosion of that size is serious. There's no doubt about that. And if it depends on, firstly, whether it was actually an explosion within the containment, which we just don't know as yet. One thing we do know is that if that did involve the nuclear thing, we'll be seeing very high levels of contamination very quickly. So information should be becoming available as to what type of explosion it was. But clearly that's a very energetic explosion to be doing that. We're not looking here at something collapsing because of the effects of the earthquake, which was one possibility. That's clearly not the case.
And we've had pictures of this site before what happened and then afterwards, and after this explosion it appears that we see instead of an intact building, as you would expect, you then see a sort of skeletal structure there where the walls have crumbled, and as you say, we're speculating at this distance and this stage and at this time, but significant damage has been caused.
Yeah, I mean, in most plants, the actual working part is built underground, and so anything above the surface is mainly just empty space to allow things like the cranes in maintenance and the like. So the real question is not what we can see here, but what's just underneath the surface of what we can see here. And kind of what I've no doubt they'll start doing is trying to get a view from looking down into the reactor, which and some of those techniques were developed at Chernobyl, where there was some aerial plant with folks looking down, gave a much clearer idea of what was happening.
Now, we understand there has been a press conference in the last few minutes. I'm just looking through the wires here at some of the comments that have been made. The official line is that it's not clear if the damaged building housed the reactor. An official said the utility that runs the plant was reporting several workers may have been injured, and we saw the power of that explosion there, which is perhaps not surprising. The big question now, of course, as you were saying, Malcolm, is about the radiation levels. Now, how quickly could that be detected? I mean, would they know immediately?
Well, within a few minutes, I'd have thought, because they will have, well, I mean, nuclear scientists of their nature have very sophisticated monitoring, because that's often your early warning as to whether something, not on this scale, but a small anomaly may be happening. So they'll have very sensitive material in real time there, assuming that those